Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 66 of the Pregame Network podcast. I am your host, Dan, joined by my bestest pal, Anthony, on the only gaming news show on the internet that is not afraid to ruffle feathers or offend anybody. So, welcome. Have a seat.
Yeah, have a
Um,
seat.
it's been a pretty good week so far,
Hmm.
and I have a decent amount to talk about, or at least I have a lot to say about the stuff that I want to talk about. So,
Okay.
that is always a plus. How was the week for you, my friend?
It was light. It was mainly just as far as gaming is concerned, it's the usual stuff, and as far as stories go, it's really just updating on some things I've talked about before.
Okay. Well, as usual, we will start with what we've been playing
Hmm.
this past week, and then we'll just go from there. So I have only really touched like three games. So,
Hmm.
what is your list looking like for this past
Uh,
week?
my list is pretty short too. Just more of the usual.
Okay.
If you'd like, I can go
So I
first.
guess
Whatever.
okay, yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah. So I mean, my gotcha. I've been playing a lot more fighters than usual. We've just really been getting into that. The same list of fighters as always. Thanks to a generous donation of an expansion card to my Xbox.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I was like, where's he going with this? And then I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah. I pretty much after I downloaded my obligations with Dark Tide and Killing Floor and the like, I just went on a downloading spree. It felt like I was like
Oh
on one of
God,
those.
yeah, I'm sure it was like
Yeah.
completely fucking freeing a
Yes.
thousand new gigabytes of unspoken for territory of
Exactly.
just whatever you want.
It felt like, remember all those shopping sweepstakes where it's just like, oh, just run through the store and
Yeah,
grab whatever you
yeah.
want. It's all free. It felt like that, even though it's all shit I own or shit on subscriptions. But I'm like, ooh, goody, it's Christmas. So I'm just
That's
going through,
fucking funny.
I'm downloading a bunch of shit. Some of it's the classic stuff I just like to have on tap. The other stuff is just like stuff I never got around to trying before. And right off the bat, I use this to, when I'm sitting in my chair, finally about to pass out, I like to play a game or two. Uh, I tried two games. I tried Rise of the Tomb Raider and
Okay.
Deathloop. And
Oh, the
yeah,
arcane game.
yeah. So Rise of the Tomb Raider, I booted it up. I never beat it. I never beat it when I had played it all these years ago. I actually bought that day one. I was at like some midnight launch. I bought that and fucking
Oh, really?
yeah, I bought that and Fallout 4. I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I had money to burn and I just felt like going out, so I went to this midnight launch. Um, and apparently, according to the game, the last time I touched it was 2008. I didn't make it very far. And I'm sorry, not 2008, 2018. And so I didn't make it very far. And I'm sitting there and playing, and I'm just like, it's not a terrible looking game. It's not a terrible playing game, but I just don't have the fucking patience for it. It is like
Which number game in the trilogy is this?
the second.
Okay.
So it's just like the new Tomb Raider games. It was very much aping off of Uncharted and what it was
Yeah,
trying to
I know.
do. I do think that something that the Tomb Raider games did a little bit better than Uncharted was, I mean, just from the virtue of what the game was trying to do. It was open world. I liked I guess the battlegrounds or each different little segment a bit more than
Yeah,
I
I
did
mean, Uncharted
Uncharted.
was never. Yeah,
Yeah,
Uncharted was never trying to be an open world game. It was
exactly.
very linear, like focused stories.
Exactly. So like I give the Tomb Raider games that I've played so far that much credit. But
Okay.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, the intrigue just isn't there for me. I'm not getting hooked at all. It's like
Yeah, I
I
remember playing through the first one. I played the
mhm,
first one from beginning to end, and I thought it was fine. Like it was like your average
yeah,
7 out of 10 game, in my
I
opinion.
did too.
And then I didn't play the subsequent two, so I
Yeah.
really have nothing to say on that.
Yeah, I can't give this one too much of a review just because I ended up uninstalling it. That's pretty much what it's going to be. Try uninstall, try uninstall. But it's like it felt like I remember the first one playing because I actually played through, like I just said, the first one beginning to end. I think I
Hmm.
100%ed it. And it was fun for what it was. And this felt like it was going to be more of the same. It's just I was not getting hooked at all. Both the gameplay was just another 7 out of 10. The story,
Yeah.
it's possible people who are more into that like Uncharted, Indiana Jones stuff probably got more out of it than I did. Maybe it's just because the original Tomb Raider games were some of my earliest memories with the PlayStation 1. My cousin had it. And I'm
Okay.
just like the pacing, the what the game offered from a gameplay perspective, the puzzle aspects, the look, the feel of those original games. Maybe it's just I'm like hardwired to like not like the new style. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a fucking 7 out of 10 and it just didn't hook me. Who knows? So I uninstalled that.
So, as somebody who's played, again, I just said like I've only played the first game from beginning to end in the Tomb Raider in the new Tomb Raider trilogy, but I've played every Uncharted game. It's the only game that you could really make like a somewhat apples to apples comparison for Tomb Raider. I think it's really more of just like a 7 out of 10 type of game. I feel like the Uncharted, the Tomb Raider titles, it was really more like the tomb raiding puzzle solving, and then they made it a whole other game built around that. Like it wasn't the other way around. Okay. So yeah, I think personally I like Uncharted way better, but I think it's just a case of the fact that Tomb Raider is just a middling offering.
I think that, and in a way you kind of summarized what I was trying to get at, which is it's basically like it's weird to me because it's like a discount Uncharted. Uncharted's pretty good. You get a discount Uncharted. Like I liked it better than I did Uncharted 1, even though the story wasn't quite as
Uncharted 1.
Me. Uncharted 1 aged like milk. It like people like to say games age. That aged the day it came out. Like I don't think that game like in any scope felt good to play. But
and that's what I went out and bought a PS3 for, was Uncharted 1. I mean, wanted that so badly.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has a lot of charm, a lot of character, but boy, is it just not a fun play. The first Uncharted
it was
game.
rough.
It's worth playing at least once, but
Agreed.
it's like the only game of its generation where I say like, okay, everybody wants remakes of fucking everything. It's ridiculous. That one you can remake. You can remake that. But yeah. So I guess being a discount Uncharted, you can only go so wrong, but at the same time, it's like Tomb Raider is like a legacy franchise, and just to kind of, not really do much with that, I think kind of hurts, being able to look at this game like however many years later, this trilogy however many years later, I think that really hurt it. But about fucking Tomb Raider, maybe I'll go back to it. Whatever the fuck knows. The other game I played, like I said, Deathloop.
How did you feel about that one? Because I couldn't make it more than like 2 hours into that game.
I made it less further than you did. I made it up to, I'm gonna say I played like an hour, 20 minutes, enough to get the concept going, And it's like,
it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I wanted that style of gameplay, it's been done better. So many other games I could play. Like, I could play other arcade games like Dishonored, or I could play BioShock, or I could play any other game really. This one it just didn't feel special, and the writing just was like dog shit. It was like, what's the way to put this? It was, and I always say this a lot, it was like that Marvel quirky, like, I'm sitting there, the guy's washing up at the beach, and he's just talking to himself constantly, like, oh, what the fuck? Like the typical, like, borderline, wow, that almost happened, or that just happened, tier writing, and I'm just like, I'm out. I can only do so much of this, and I don't think the hook's there for me. Yeah, but that's what I tried, and I'll be definitely trying more things as we go along, just because I have the space to do it now.
Hey, happy for you. Okay, so as far as I go, I've been playing. Well, every Saturday it seems like we dump like a solid 5 hours or so into the finals. Yes. And so that's been a staple for the past couple weeks, and it starts out pretty good until Harrison and I get pissed off enough to stop playing. That's the truth. That's exactly how it goes every week.
I'm just in my own little world. I'm always happy when I play that game.
I know, because you must have like you remember Meet the Team, like the short videos for Team Fortress 2? Yeah. I swear to God, you have like a whole Meet the Pyro thing going on, where behind your eyes you just see fucking like candy canes and like gingerbread houses, and you're just trying to eat them and take them down, because all you fucking do in the finals is play the demolition squad and level every building in our path.
Listen,
no. Every fucking time.
You need to hear
rarely.
This.
Oh yeah, I need to hear it.
Yeah, you need to hear
learn
this.
me something.
Listen, okay. My eye is always on the prize in that game. I am just so fucking talented at it that I am able to sit a block away and level the building, which helps us in the long run, by the way. And the second somebody steps foot on the point, I turn, I assess the situation, and then I make a judgment call. I'm either going to keep planning ahead, which works out greatly in the long run when they don't have a fucking a place to stand on. And if not, I go over there and I free up the point. You know?
I needed to hear that, huh? I know why you do it, but god
Yeah.
damn it, is it frustrating when
Yeah.
me and
Listen.
Harrison are assaulting the point basically on our own, and we could really use a third guy, but you're off just
Listen,
fucking running through literally running through walls.
there
Uh,
is bias there because the both of you are lights. You die very quickly. Even when I go to the point, most of the time you guys are jumping on and off it because you guys can't take a beating. And I think it's a you problem because I'm able to play double duty in these fucking games.
it's a me
And when
problem.
we
Okay.
lose, I don't, I don't throw a shit fit. I don't scream. I'm just like, wow, that was a good match here with my friends. It's an attitude
Jesus
thing.
fucking
That's
Christ.
all.
We have differing opinions on that. But anyway, we dumped another 5 hours into the finals yesterday, and then beyond that, so Deep Rock Galactic Survivor has been like my go-to time-killing game since it came out, basically. And as of yesterday, I have 54 hours in that game already.
Oh.
Yeah, I play it a lot. It's just fun. It's fun. It's a good time. It's visually appealing, and you get that dopamine hit every time you level up. So it's a good time. What else did we do? I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor. I put about 15 hours into Killing Floor just in the past couple days.
We played it as a group.
Well, yeah, we played it as a group yesterday, but I've been doing a lot solo for that game just to like get, just to like, fully form my opinion because we're going to be putting up a first impressions review not review, but your first impressions video on the channel that was written by and narrated by yours truly. So definitely look out for that one. But anyway, my elevator review for Killing Floor 3 is it's got a solid foundation. I think it's a good Killing Floor game. It definitely needs a lot of work. They need to fix the bugs, they need to polish it up, and they need a lot more content. Those are the three major takeaways that I have from it. From a negative standpoint, even though the game has been getting what I consider to be a disproportionate amount of hate online. But you can watch the video and I'll go over all that. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 3. I enjoy it. There's a lot to say about it, especially from Killing Floor fans and veterans like myself. But it's a good time, especially with friends. But yeah, they need to fix a lot of different things in the game. So I've been doing a lot of Killing Floor 3. I've also been playing a lot of Darktide lately, not for any reason in particular. My replayability in Darktide kind of comes from the different build variety that I can play and experiment with in the game, because after they came out with their unlocked and loaded update almost a year ago already, you can really mix and match skills and drastically change your play style. So now that the Arbites class came out, so that the 5th class is now available to play for Darktide. That's the only class that I've been playing for the past I don't know, 15, 20 hours that I've played the game.
What is the new hotness? It just came out.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that between Friday and today, and it's just I just love Darktide. I say this every time I talk about it. But now that you have the expansion card, we need to get you up to level so we could take on an Auric level mission, and I can finally fucking have one of those under my belt. It's been 3 goddamn years since this game came out, or 2 years, whatever it's been, and I have yet to beat an Auric mission, and you need to fucking beat one.
Listen, we'll get there.
I've 260 hours in the game, and I have no Auric victory to show for it. But anyway, so that is what I've been playing over the past week. So, yeah, as far as news goes, there's a decent amount to talk about this week, but I feel like you have some stuff to get to first, so I'm gonna hand it over to you because I have a lot to say about the things that have happened over the past week.
Yeah, I basically just want to give short updates. I'm not going to open it with a rant that takes 30 minutes or anything. Just going to give a couple updates to some of the more important stories that we've talked about the last few weeks. First up, Stop Killing Games. We talked plenty about that already. It is officially closed. The petition is no longer ongoing. It's going through the verification process now. It closed with 1,448,271 signatures. So it has
its goal, right?
Yeah, it had its goal of 1 million, and they wanted to get to at least 1.4 million, just so that they could kind of have a buffer for the validation process where they go through and look for duplicates or invalid signatures. They wanted to, aside from the fact that you just want that because people do screw up, they also didn't want any kind of shenanigans where it's like, oh, you got 50,000 over, but 50,000 signatures, they're just not good. I guess we're gonna have to toss the petition out. So they got to their comfort zone. Not much has changed on the narrative front. Cost and other logistical hurdles are still the pushing point for people against the movement. We can't do this, we can't do that, blah blah blah. A few people have also popped up to hammer home that the petition has weak arguments and no real plan, which I'll be completely honest, based on everything that I've read into the conversation, there is enough there, which is besides the point that technically they don't need a plan. The whole point is they need to outline something, a problem they have, and a few avenues of approach, because it's up to the commission to figure out a plan once they validate it. But I think that honestly, this movement, this petition, does have more than enough there written as far as potential courses of action that I really don't get where the weak argument thing is coming from. It's really just all of the arguments against this I've heard, and all the claims I've heard that this movement has weak arguments is really, it really just strikes me as people who are either just skeptic to be skeptic, or people who are for the industry, or have a vested interest in it. Like, I'll say again, I'm not for the government getting involved and having to make these changes, but it's just like, we aren't here because there's no logistical way to do it. We're here because these companies have been running amok with these kind of policies and going far beyond what they need to do. Anyway, other than that, a handful of politicians have kind of stepped up who are involved in the process or in the regions to show their support. So, nothing groundbreaking there, but we're moving into the next stage, and then we'll hear things from there. I've also heard rumors that some of the guys at the top of the movement have had vague legal threats put against them, as far as people who were rallying for the cause are being accused of certain things that might disqualify certain aspects of this. It's vague and murky intentionally, but the idea is that they're targeting people and just like, oh well, you're doing this for your own benefit and you're probably paying people off, and when it's really people are just rallying to this cause because it's a cause for them. But we'll see if that goes anywhere. And that's where Stop Killing Games is at. Okay. The other massive story that we covered recently is the whole censorship stuff going on. Again, nothing too massive or major, but there have been a few interesting developments. First, I'll say that there has been a massive handful, just a large handful of campaigns, so to speak, that have come up. First and foremost, massive call-in numbers against Visa and MasterCard to their support lines, to the point where there are stories of support representatives becoming very irate angry. But the funny thing about this is because of who you're ticking off, like all the online guys and the gamers and stuff like that, they have basically sheets of how to what to say and what buttons to press to make sure that you aren't tossed aside. If they try to pull this whole stuff, well, I can't really talk to you about this, then they have the sheets to get them to a supervisor, so it's really bogging down the whole fucking thing and avoiding automated processes. And there's stories of people making bots to call in, so you have people borderline harassing them, which I'm for. I mean, these are scummy tactics. We're not getting answers to this. Other than that, there's a handful of petitions that have gone up, hundreds of thousands of signatures on those. There are murmurs of legislation from the U.S. government that are being talked about as far as preventing overreach from payment processes, which is normally I'd be skeptical about, again, the government getting involved this quickly, but this is really piggybacking off of the last, not to get political, but the last 10 to 12 years of debanking and stuff like that with political adversaries and stuff like that, so it's kind of rolling into that. Getting support there, surprisingly. So we'll see what goes on with that. A lot of big personalities and politicians have called this out. Everybody's favorite person, love him or hate him, Elon Musk on Twitter. Whether you like the guy or his positions or not, I don't have any love for the guy. But when he mentions something, a lot of fucking people hear about it. He's brought it up, so that's good. Since then, MasterCard has put out a statement. Their own, once again, the lovely A2 sheet of we didn't do this. Basically saying we're not responsible for this, we don't actually do this, we're not enforcing rules on anyone. And to that I have to say two things. Number one, Visa is the one I hear the most about, but MasterCard is complicit in this too, and they could just as easily, aside from the fact that they could just be flat out lying, which I think to be the case because these companies are making these moves, they're relying on plausible deniability, where it's like, oh, it's not us, it's the guy that handles, our payments. It's not us directly enforcing this. And to their credit, I do think there's a lot of that going on too, where middlemen between the processors and like the purchases are like cultural actors who are trying to push these things even when they don't necessarily have the support. It's easy to curtail these companies anyway, so it's all just a bunch of like dominoes falling over, so to speak. Like I could be some asshole working at Visa that has a chip on his shoulder, and I could cut a few people off, and then the company will look at that and say like, oh, well, I guess that's correct. It is brand integrity and damage and stuff like that. But it's a mess that's going to be ongoing and dissecting, so it doesn't we don't need to get in the weeds again, right?
Right.
GOG has thrown in their support against censorship, humorously putting out a bundle of 12 games that are either about corporate overreach or have been censored. Again, there could have been better choices on there because a lot of them are some of those cheap smut games I talked about last week. But it's like, once again, none of it should be censored, so I really don't give a fuck. I do think that games like Postal were a good choice for there, which they chose.
Or Hatred.
Yeah, I don't know if Hatred... I forget the 12 games, because I looked at them, I saw Postal, I saw Agony, which I never really cared for. It always looked like shit to me. I think Joe played Agony. I think me and him argued about it at some point, because I spent the entire time telling him it was going to suck, and then he told me it wasn't going to suck, and then it kind of sucked. I'm misremembering some of this. If he hears this, don't get angry at me. I'm misremembering this. But... yeah, there's stuff going on there. The whole thing I'll just say about this moment, and as we go forward in it, because there's a lot of rallying from people you wouldn't expect, a lot of unlikely allies, so to speak. It's kind of like what I said last year when things started turning around in our favor culturally. Kind of a return to normalcy. You need to be careful who you're lining up with, because a lot of these people, like for example, I just praised GOG for this little bundle they're doing and bringing attention to it. Last year, they were on that train of banning things that they didn't like too. So it's like nobody's perfect here. There are very few absolutes out there. Use them to push things forward, but the second it's not a threat to their thing, and they're no longer worried about the slippery slope, they're going to come after you just as hard again. So we need to be very careful with who we get in bed with, so to speak. I wouldn't make any commitments. We just gotta get past this current wave however we can, however long it takes, but remember who you're dealing with here. So that's the movement on the censorship front. The last thing I'll really say about that is I mentioned a little bit last week that a group has claimed responsibility for making these pressures to pressuring these companies. Collective Shout is what it's called. It's like a group of feminists from Australia or something, and the only thing I have to say there is they're blatantly claiming responsibility for it. They have mentioned that they went after both Steam and itch.io and a handful of other places, and then put out a statement saying that they went around them directly to the payment processors. Take them at their word. Regardless, they should be shamed for the shit that they're doing, regardless of whether it was them one-to-one or not.
You went over my helmet?
Yes, exactly. And here's another thing. They're going through the whole process of like victimhood and shit like that. Like, I swear to God, I forget exactly what this is, and it's killing me that I can't find it. One of them claimed, the CEO or one of the higher ups in Collective Shout claimed they were getting death threats, and immediately when you hear that, you raise an eyebrow and go, "Are you really receiving death threats?" Right? And the death threat was like just a sentence long filled with slurs and hatred and shit like that. And the URL that it was sent from was a domain called like rapeallwomen.com or something like that, which is a real domain that was registered after all this stuff went down. So now we know for a fact that they're just registering these fucking outlandish domains to fake their own death threats. It's the same shit we've been dealing with for 15 years with these fucking idiots. But yeah, that's all going on. There might be some more obviously this is ongoing. There might be some more developments in the near future, because the way Steam handled this basically is forcing these companies to be more transparent in ways that they shouldn't be. So we're going to learn a little bit more about where exactly it's coming from, hopefully, in the coming weeks. But that's where we're at with those two very important pressing issues that we're dealing with.
Well, it shouldn't be complex as far as like a topic or a subject goes, but it seems like it is. There's just so many different vested interests in
Exactly.
on both sides. It's so murky, man.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's a fog of war kind of thing, you know. You kind of
Yeah.
have everything neatly lined up beforehand, and the second shit hits the fan, you don't know who's doing what and where the next hit's gonna come from.
Yeah. Oh God. Um, well, moving on from that, I guess.
Go for it.
uh, all right. So before I jump into like the big obvious thing that we're probably going to spend the majority of the time talking about
Probably a
here,
big chunk of it. Yeah.
yeah, the some very small stuff, I guess. Just to get out of the way, one, Darksiders 4 was announced as part of the THQ Nordic digital showcase, along with
Yeah.
some other stuff. Titan Quest 2 got put into early access, I think today, which I'm semi interested in, but I'm gonna wait and see on that. Um, let's see what else. So you posted something about Marathon actually. What's today?
Yeah.
So 2 days ago.
Yes.
Okay, so from the game post, Bungie expressly abandons Marathon trademark. What is it? After opposition from RC car maker Traxus.
Mhm.
Okay.
So again,
Explain.
I think we've mentioned this more than a few times that we're not really the biggest Marathon people. I've played a bit of it way back when. You never really played the Marathon
I never
games.
touched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
idea.
basically, my understanding and my scaling could be a little off. Imagine if out of the blue during the development of a Halo game, Microsoft abandoned the trademark if they owned it for the Covenant. So there's a company in universe. I don't know if it's a military contractor thing or an actual company called Traxus, and they've
Yeah.
kind of just passively like used it, and they wanted to reuse it in this marathon. And apparently, in the process, they went for a firmer like hold over the name, and in the process, they realized they were going up against, or they met more resistance, or saw that it was going to be a logistical hurdle that they didn't want to bother with. And so now, apparently, this important company or fixture or something that's been with the series since the beginning, once again, just unmooring it further from the
Yeah.
roots of Marathon, and they're just not going to have it. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll do something with it, and maybe they have some other plan up their sleeve, but it's just like another blow against Marathon in a very obtuse way.
Oh God, as if that game couldn't have anything else go wrong with it. Like,
Yeah.
just cut your losses and move on already. It's just
Yep.
enough. Like they're just causing more and more not even to the IP of Marathon. They're just causing more and more damage to Bungie as a studio at this point.
Yeah.
Like Destiny is basically on life support already. Did I ever talk about the incredibly low player numbers for Destiny? I don't even
You
remember if I
touched
did.
you touched on it, and we kind of like went over, a comparison, and we talked about new players versus old players. But
Okay.
when we did, it was like when I say like the first week of this expansion. So it's possible there's some developments that you have yet to share.
Um, the only thing that the only thing that really is to share is that when Edge of Fate launched, like usually the concurrent player count for like a launch of a new expansion on launch day, even kind of extending a little bit more past launch day, is about 300,000 players. Like it's a big number, especially for Destiny.
Yes, that's what you had gone over last time, and where are the numbers at now?
Well, so when Age of Fate launched, the player base did not top 100,000. It was at like 99 point
Yeah, it was
something.
some low
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So it's like abysmally low, especially for a Destiny expansion. Like the interest in this game is almost completely fizzled out at this point. I mean, I can speak to that personally too. All the people that I used to play with, they just don't touch the game anymore. Like they're done with it, and I can't even blame them. Like most of them have been with the franchise for the majority of its life cycle. Me and a couple other people were there since like the D1 beta, and even then, I'm like I don't have a group to play with anymore. So I just don't even really want to play right now. Like unless I meet another group of people that are going to be not necessarily no-lifing Destiny like I used to, but just like take on the new raid or just harder
Yeah,
content.
hit the content.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's gonna be that way. So the point being is that the player numbers are just out in the toilet. It's like it's really really bad. Um, so I don't know if they are going to recover from this. I really can't see a world in which Destiny as a franchise recovers from pre Edge of Fate. I think they need to do something. I know, like, obviously they
Well,
need
yeah,
to do
something
something
needs
to
to be
be
done at
prepared.
some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to say is they can't just keep on doing what they're doing. Like, obviously, it's not working. Like me, who were sticking around for 10 years, um, finished up the 10-year story, played through and beat the final shape, including the raid, and then did the final mission where everything was had a nice little bow put on top of it. We beat that, and we just kind of checked out. And
Hmm.
most people are like, that's just the normal thing to do. Um, so the regular like content structure and delivery method that Bungie has for Destiny right now is just not working, and they need to change it up. And I
Yeah,
don't even know if that's even possible at this point. So
yeah,
I
it's a
think
very
Destiny
tough
is going to
spot.
end up dying like a slow and painful death.
That's what it
That's
looks
my
like.
yeah, that's my 2 cents on that front. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't
there's
really
a
know what to expect anymore.
what I will say, and it's really something I haven't, we've talked about how dreary and dreadful the current situation of Destiny is in the past. Something I haven't really touched on too much. I always tend to focus on the bleakness of the situation. Is that Bungie has had multiple like points where they could have easily turned this around, where they had a bigger pool of players to get to stick with, even if they didn't win over everybody. But it's like the smaller your pool of players shrinks, the less stuff you can get away with. The turnaround gets a lot harder to really do. And
Mhm.
honestly, it sounds like they played whatever hand they had with all those changes you keep talking about, which were, as you describe, good for quality of life and longevity and being a new kickoff point, but came too late, wasn't aimed right, something didn't work. So I really,
Yeah, I
it's
think that
yeah.
the like I remember talking about the like the game systems overhaul in a very positive light,
Mhm.
and I'm still of that belief. That being said, the other side to that coin is that as a grizzled veteran of the Destiny franchise, um, ho hopping back in and like trying to like I understand it well enough, but the grind that Bungie is now asking the average player to undertake to get the best loot in the game is
Mm,
borderline unreasonable. And
yeah.
I just don't think I have it in me anymore.
Yeah,
So,
that's I mean, it would be one thing. Like there is a way for them to make that content in a way that you would be able to manage it. It's just it strikes me, and this guy could just be me talking out my ass, but I'm basically diagnosing based on all the things you tell me week after week, however often you talk about it, right? It really
uh,
seems like they had less to work with. And I don't mean like, oh, poor them, they had less to work with. I mean like they had less to offer. So in order to for people to get the most out of it, so to speak, it's they added or paced it in such a way where like the grind is just not tenable. That's what it seems like to me.
yeah, I think that they made a conscious decision to overhaul how the game functions at a core level, as
Mhm.
opposed to delivering the usual cadence of content that the community is accustomed to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so it both was a good thing for the longevity of the game, but also a bad thing in the sense that they kind of shot themselves in the foot because the the Destiny population overall is so used to having like a set amount of new things per expansion that they just did not deliver on that
Mm.
whatsoever. I mean, that coupled with the fact that the final shape wrapped up, the big 10-year storyline is done. It's not a great combination, and it really gave people a very easy off ramp to just exit out of the game and never touch it again. And um, I still think that the majority of people leaving after Final Shape was bound to happen,
Mhm.
and there was no way to avoid it. And I also think that where Destiny is now is meant for a new generation of player, um, and I don't think those two things are going to gel very well together. So
Yeah. I mean my comment on that is pretty much the same week over week. I think you're giving them a lot of grace with that meant for a new generation of player because it really just seems like they swerved into quality of life in an effort to make it look like they're doing more than they actually are, and they're just leaving anybody who doesn't gel with it by the wayside. I don't, because
I
this
mean, I'm
isn't
sure there's a degree of truth to that as well. Yeah.
yeah.
But okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, Destiny's not doing too great. I don't know if it's gonna really survive for that much longer. I mean, it'll probably still be a thing for a while, but not the way that it was.
Yeah, they're not going to pull the plug overnight. It's just
Yeah.
slow, painful. That's what you said.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna move on to the big thing that happened this week, and everyone who's listening probably knows exactly where I'm going with this. But
Yes.
Battlefield 6 was revealed. A lot of gameplay was shown off. They kind of had their press event of what to expect from the franchise going forward, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and all that good stuff. So I am pretty sure I have a lot more to say on this than you do. So do you want to go first with your gut reaction and thoughts and everything?
You can go first. I'll chime in as you go along, because like I'm pretty much in the same spot as I was previously, where it's just like I think they're in a good position. I'm not fully convinced of what we've seen, but everything seems to align with at least my initial reaction to like the leak stuff that was coming out, the comments by the developers and everything like that.
Yeah. All right. So the multiplayer reveal trailer that they opened the show with, it wasn't a multiplayer reveal trailer. It was a story reveal trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty apparent from the get-go. Like that was, I mean, yeah, it was all filmed in engine and everything, and showed off what the game is going to look like and everything. But that was definitely the vast majority of what they showed off was all single-player campaign stuff.
Yeah.
So over the past couple days since the reveal, I have watched a lot of footage, because I'm a pretty big Battlefield fan. Definitely a bigger Battlefield fan than you are. I think it's safe to say at this point.
Yeah, no, that's correct. My preferences are in the older stuff. I wasn't really around for 3 and 4.
Yeah. I mean, we played a lot of 1942 back when the Xbox Live Arcade. Yeah, that game was so good.
Technically, it was 1943. But yes,
you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. It was 1943 because it was the arcade version.
Exactly. The two of us mainly played that, and we played Bad Company.
Bad Company 1 and 2. It was both. It had to have been both.
It was
Bad
both.
Company 2 is still my favorite Battlefield game to this day. It was oh my god, everything about it was good. Actually, on the topic of Bad Company 2, I put a screenshot in our news channel, because this one comment that I saw from the reveal trailer link basically summed up like what I was feeling the whole time I was watching gameplay footage. And it reads as follows: Battlefield 6 feels like what playing Bad Company as a kid felt like. And I was like, god damn, that hit the nail exactly on the head. Between the destruction, the chaos, the game mode, just the overall look and feel of the game, I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw just overall, not even like from the trailer or one video or 2 videos. It was overall, I was pleasantly surprised with what I saw. Now I'm trying to rein my excitement in, because I am a very excitable gamer. I think that's probably the best way that I'm going to put it. I definitely have a tendency of like not really flying off the handle, but probably getting carried away is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see what you're
saying. So that, coupled with the fact that I've been a Battlefield fan since, I mean, when did 1943 come out? Or no, when did Battlefield 2 come out? That was the first Battlefield I've ever played.
Ooh, that
with like the whole hot swapping system. Do you remember that?
I remember it. I just don't remember what year that was.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Actually, I need to find that out, because God, hold on a second. Battlefield 2 release date. That was 2005. Yep.
Okay.
2005. Holy shit, it's been 20 years. Wow. So I've been a Battlefield fan since 2005. I've always been a first-person shooter fan as a gamer. That's been my genre forever. But Battlefield 2, that was what introduced me to the franchise, and I've played every Battlefield game up since that point. Favorite one was Bad Company 2. So playing 2042 was awful. Everyone could agree on that. And it's been quite some time since we've had like a good Battlefield offering since Battlefield 1. That was like the last really
Yeah.
solid entry in the franchise.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think everything looks very good. I'm really happy with just the overall movement system, the just the way that the combat flows in the game, um, the tone and the atmosphere all seems to be exactly what the Battlefield community the world over has been asking for since Battlefield 1. Um, I I have so I didn't play it obviously, so I can't really give you like a honed in list of possible negatives that I would be feeling from this, but I can only tell you from the copious amounts of gameplay footage that I have watched so far. Um, it looks like the Battlefield game that I've been waiting for. That's probably like in one sentence is going to
Yeah.
be my overall takeaway. Now, that being said, there's still time for EA to fuck something up. So I'm
Absolutely.
trying to, yeah, I'm trying to not get like super duper hyped. I would say on like a hype scale from 1 to 10, I'm probably at like a 7 right now after watching all the footage that I did.
I
I'm
would say
not
that's
at a
that's a
10 yet.
healthy place to be. That's a healthy place to
Yeah.
be.
I was at a solid 4 before, without like
Okay.
with all the uncertainty and not knowing what it's actually going to look like and all the leaks that
Yeah.
we've seen. And over the past several weeks, every time we've recorded, I'm like, oh, I saw this leak of Battlefield 6. I saw that leak of Battlefield 6. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. And then, we
Yes.
got this quote unquote insider report of crunch and like they're not going to be ready in time and blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah. So now what they finally held this press this reveal event, like I don't know if that was just bullshit, but the gameplay looks fucking awesome. Like and I've been I've been saying since the beginning, since I saw what this gameplay looks like, it looks like Modern Warfare 2019 in like with Battlefield levels of destruction with some movement tech stripped away, which is a good thing, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I'm at a 7 out of 10 so far as hype goes. That number will absolutely change come this weekend when the open beta launches on the 9th.
Yes. Yes.
So there's 2 open betas, 2 weekends in a row. It's this weekend and the following weekend. And it's open. So there's not going to be any restriction. You don't have to pre-order it. They seem to really want to get as many people in the door as possible to try out this game, which is the right move. Like
Yes.
to paywall this beta is a bad idea, especially after the community sentiment of what 2042 ended up being. So
Yeah.
open beta, good idea, solid W as far as like decision making goes. I'm very excited to get into it and try it for myself. That 7 out of 10 is going to change after this weekend, and I'm sure you and I will play ad nauseum
Yes,
just
absolutely.
to give it a try. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what else we got here? I've also watched several interviews with different media outlets on YouTube, interviewing Byron Bede, who's the gameplay director, I think. I could
Okay.
be fucking up his title, but he's one of the leads at the studio, and Vince Zampella, who is like the head honcho of the Battlefield IP. He is the
Yes,
guy in
he's-
charge
he's,
of
he's currently at
the
the very
franchise.
top of the studios,
Yes.
and I know we
Yeah.
were a little concerned because he's not like in a direct creative role. He's kind of
Yeah.
overseeing all of these studios, but he's
Yeah.
he's a good guy to have there. I mean, not many people
Right.
can fill that
Well,
role.
So let's back up a little bit and just kind of give a brief rundown of Vince Zampella's resume, because I mean I'm sure anybody who's interested in Battlefield knows this already, but just for
Or shooters
someone
in
who
general.
doesn't, yeah, shooters in general. So Vince Zampella, he was a part of the original creation of Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which was like one of the first modern shooters that we had like on the PS2 and the original Xbox.
Mhm.
He helped create Call of Duty 2, which was the first time COD had like a seriously good multiplayer offering.
I mean that's the basis for like the greatest gameplay offerings
Yes.
that the series has.
Yes. He co-created Call of Duty 4, which is in my top 3 shooters of all time. Like it is a masterpiece of FPS design and gameplay. He also, in the continuation of that, he helped create Modern Warfare 2 with Jason West, and that was that is largely regarded as one of the best multiplayer shooters ever made. Beyond that, he went on to create Respawn Entertainment with Jason West, and they made Titanfall, both 1 and 2. So, and you know how I feel about Titanfall, also in that top 3 list. Fucking phenomenal first-person shooter. He helped create Apex, and now he is the studio head for Battlefield Studios, and which is like 4 or 5 different studios all under the same Battlefield banner. So Vince Zampella as a lead on this project is no joke. Like that name carries weight in the industry. So going back to my original point, I've watched several interviews with him and Byron Bede, who is another creative lead at Battlefield Studios. And the one thing, or if I had to only like say one thing from these interviews, the thing that they keep on going back to, both of them, as far as like, oh, why is this game feel so much better than the games that came before it? They seem to have put such an emphasis on playtesting and making changes during playtest sessions, like in real time, that they were able to so finely tune the gameplay and the movement mechanics to a point where it's just, they were just so, and this is their words, not mine, they were so concerned with having the game be so much fun from a moment-to-moment standpoint that they play tested it for years before we ever saw anything. So that, I think, is a definite positive.
I will say, just as a note of that, I did actually get a chance to see some leaked footage, more than I have before, now that just like the dam's broken. And I saw a few of the alpha footage, essentially some alpha footage gameplay clips, and what you just said about their approach to, you know, finally fine-tuning gameplay and changing gameplay on the fly was very reflective in the alpha builds that I saw, because like visual effects were all over the place. Sometimes guns didn't have full attachments, but they were still functional. Like the game functioned like near flawlessly, despite not having all the assets that make the game the game. So I'm just like, I'm willing to believe what you just told me.
Right. Yeah. So like the polish and all the leaks that I've seen leading up to a couple days ago with the actual official reveal event was basically non-existent. Between the UI, the actual weapon assets, the maps, different visual bugs and glitches, like all of that polish was just not there, because that is not what they were focusing on. They were focusing on the moment-to-moment gameplay. Is it fun to do everything that you can do in Battlefield? Like that was their ultimate goal. And again, I haven't played it, so I really can't tell you for sure how much truth there is to that. But in everything that I've seen so far between gameplay and interviews, I'm willing to take that leap of faith and just believe them on their word that that is what they did. And that is why the game looked the way that it did in the leaks, as opposed to the official reveal event that we just saw a couple days ago. So that, like I said, that was probably the one thing that immediately jumps out at me when everything that I've watched as far as interviews and gameplay goes, was that they did so much play testing just to make sure that it just felt great to play at any given moment. The next thing was, we need to bring Battlefield back to its roots, and that also shines through. And the biggest thing that you could take away from that is the destruction. Oh my God. Do you remember when we said that Battlefield 6 needs to have the same level of destruction that the finals has?
Or beyond it, really.
Or beyond, yeah. I think it's got it. If the videos that I've been watching, are to be believed, and I've watched like hours of footage so far, I think that in the context of Battlefield, the destruction is exactly where it should be. You can blow up an entire side of a building with one RPG. Like the grenades do catastrophic damage to the environment. It looks so good. Like I'm really trying to not gush about it, but I'm just I'm just telling you the truth here. And again, I haven't played it, so like I really can't be that like overly positive, but everything that I've seen, like this has got what it takes to be the best shooter in the past couple of years. So
it's the first time in a long time that a showing has really inspired this level of confidence, despite normal skepticism of the industry.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have a much better idea of everything and have more concise thoughts and feedback after this weekend when I actually get to play it. I'm only going to be playing that this weekend. That's
That
it.
checks out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am, God, even like talking about all of this right now, that hype meter is moving up a little bit for me, but still 7 out of 10 right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's important. It's important to keep those expectations in check because there have been
Yeah,
things we've heard that are less than optimal.
right. I was actually trying to think earlier before we hopped on the recording of like, I wonder what Zampella's day to day looks like at Battlefield Studios because obviously he's not in this creative role. He's a top head of the studio decision maker, this decision making role.
Mhm.
I'm curious as to what his day to day looks like because he's not the one that's like making these creative changes. Like he might get asked approval for X, Y, and Z thing, but he's not the one that's in the trenches making the game and coding the game and whatever.
Yeah.
So it would probably take a lot more research to find like what he actually does every day.
Mhm.
But the fact that he is the guy in charge of the battlefield, dude, it's wild to me how that one man has been has he's been responsible for some of the greatest shooters that we've ever had in gaming. Full stop. Like
Yeah.
one guy.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
He's got quite the resume.
Yeah. Like he created or two of the most highly regarded shooters ever, going back throughout history. It was fucking Medal of Honor, COD, Titanfall. Did I don't think he had a hand in like originally making Battlefield. That'd be nuts if he did. I don't think that's true though. But now he's the head of Battlefield Studios, and you know, I don't know how much. Again, I don't know how much influence that he has over what we're seeing now. But obviously they're doing something right. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to get my hands on it. I'm at like a 10 out of 10 to like actually get my hands on it, to try it.
Yeah.
Not for like dropping $70 of my own money to buy it on release day.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm pretty much in the same place that you are. If maybe if you're at like a 7, I'm at like a 6.
yeah, I figured.
Just because I'm a bit more of a skeptic. I'm also like I'm not keen on some of the decisions. Like I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna be like it's got pre-order bonuses and like that is just an inherent negative that I feel. I'm not giving it a pass just because everybody's doing it. It's I already understand it, so it's already factoring into my anticipation or lack thereof. So
Yeah.
like things like pre-order bonuses and battle passes, like you groan, you hope for the best. If you even
Oh,
end up
that's something
getting
else that I
invested
want
in
to
it.
talk about, where
Yeah.
all the like the artistic direction,
Yeah,
especially
we'll-
for the yeah.
Yeah,
Finish your thought. I didn't mean to
we'll let
interrupt
that
you.
a sec. No, that's fine. That's fine. Other than that, I mean, it's really like so that's where I raise an eyebrow. I also think that everybody who thinks that we're going to stick with that artistic direction for now, might get a surprise in 3 months. I am incredibly uncomfortable. I mean, not that I'd be playing it on console anyway, but I'm incredibly uncomfortable with the level of anti-cheat that they're going with. That's it's gonna be where it's like you need to secure boot. It's fucking kernel level for PC. Like that's
Well, so first of all, a lot of, if not the vast majority of anti-cheats for a lot of different PC games are already kernel level.
yeah,
But the fact that you need to secure boot
yeah,
just to be able to run the game, that's a bit much.
yeah, that's way off the reservation for me. I wouldn't get it on the PC if I had a PC that could run it. I couldn't do that. Yeah, I mean it's a wait and see situation with everything else. But you wanted to talk about the artistic direction.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly bring that up because I mean, you and I were talking to our friend Joe, who's made the occasional guest appearance on the podcast in the past
Yeah.
about the skins and the different cosmetic stuff that they are inevitably going to put in the game. And it's really just a matter of how out there are they going to make it.
Yeah.
Like there's no way they're going COD levels of crazy. Like everyone that's just, in my opinion, basically a fact. Like there's not a chance that they're going.
If they do, it's not going to be off the bat. It's going to be, like I said, like a sucker punch, like 3 months later or something like that.
Yes.
Because while you got to remember their goals, their anticipation, the fact that they're like making money. Like if there might come a point in time in Battlefield 6's lifetime where they basically say like, okay, we've gotten our players, we've gotten our money. We know that this is an insanely unpopular decision, but we'll like squeeze the last of the sponge dry, so to speak, and get our money's worth out of it, or like, you know, to push it a little further. And it'll hurt them in the long term, and it will hurt them reputationally, but they'll squeeze the player numbers and money that they want very, very briefly out of it. You know, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows really?
I mean, I am more of an optimist.
Yeah.
Well, one in general, but two on this front. I so I am a big proponent of looking at the past to see where the future is headed, and a lot of, if not all of the skins in Battlefield 42, I mean, yeah, they were not quote unquote immersive in the setting of like a military shooter, but they weren't fucking Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj and Beavis and Butthead levels either.
Yeah.
They were all pretty grounded as far as I'm concerned for the Battlefield franchise and universe. All, you know, all mostly pretty realistic. I don't know if I'd use the word immersion as a synonym for it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't crazy. Like, for example, earlier today, Joe posted a picture of the older, like, grizzled vet, right? So,
Yeah.
like, he took issue with the fact that that might be a skin for the multiplayer component of the game. And I mean, was it just the fact that the guy had a white beard, you know, like
No,
that he wouldn't
so
be on the battlefield?
this is obviously like a subjective thing that really relies on everybody kind of having. He's not here to discuss it, obviously. My guess is it's really just a matter of thresholds. Like I have a feeling, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to try and put our position out there as far as what grounded is, and I would say our position on grounded is like, you know, military fatigues, tactical gear, maybe tactical at most, you know, styles like that. And it's just like, we don't, you know, nothing flamboyant, you know, different kinds of, you know, again, fatigues and, you know, things that you would expect to see in a battlefield, right? I think to answer your question as best I can, I'm not him, and I'm sure other people share this sentiment with him. I think his problem is it looked too what's the word, I guess, optimal, picturesque. Like, it's like like, I think he's coming at it from a very heavy purist. Like, I mean, we obviously want grounded too. I think his ideal is like something that's not recognizable in the slightest. So like seeing an older man who looks kind of like action hero-ish, or like, you know, once again, you mentioned the grizzled vet, the optimal version of a grizzled vet, you know. I think that's like, I can't tell you where his line is, but my guess is that like that's probably around it. Like, it's too recognizable. He feels like he would see that in a movie. And again, I can't speak for him. He's not here. But it did bring an interesting point to my mind, and that is, you know, even if I'm okay with something like that and he isn't, or you're okay with one thing and that I'm not okay with, is that Battlefield customization needs to be numerous and robust. Because there are a lot of people in these matches, and something that me and you might not take issue with that he would, or vice versa, that could change quickly if there's like 30 of them as opposed to 6 of them, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, as far as customization goes in the context of Battlefield, to my recollection, and I could be wrong, but Battlefield never really had like a highly customizable soldier that you can tweak. And I mean, that was by design. Like, you're supposed to be a nameless soldier on the battlefield that's fighting for your side, which is fine. But one, that's not the gaming industry that we live in now. And say what you will, but that's just the reality. Two, I have not seen anything as far as quote unquote like character customization in this game. Not that it's an important feature right now, but they didn't touch on it at all. Which leads me to believe that there's really not going to be, maybe like skins, but that's it. And three, I mean, yeah, they got to make their money and everything, but I don't think that they're going to go too crazy with it. But people, and when I say people, I mean like the people that are going to be playing the game. On average, I feel like they're going to want to differentiate themselves and look unique and whatever, but not unique to the point where they're going to be like shitting rainbows out. So I don't know. This is kind of like a loaded discussion because
we
have
don't have
no
all
idea
the
what it's going to be
facts.
like.
Yeah, it's tough. I would like the two things I have to say to that is, like you say, not everybody wants to go around shooting rainbows or whatever. There is a subclass of human, and I say it the way that I want, not subclass of player. There's a subclass of human that just loves to be obnoxious and ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I don't really want to
somebody
go there,
that would ruin the experience for everybody for a quick laugh on the weekend once a month. Like there's a kind of person out there like that, but. You brought it up. I said it yesterday when we were all talking about it, is we just don't know enough. Like, is it going to be a full skin for, like, individual classes that you might be playing or gadgets you might be using? The same way that old Battlefield games and old Call of Duty games, you changed your look as you picked different weapons and different classes. If so, what degree is it going to change? Is it going to be like, there's different torso and legs and head parts? What exactly are we doing here? Like, I think I saw that Battlefield 4 had like skins for vehicles, so yes, I think that might be part of it too. But I know that there's customization coming in the pre-order bonuses. I just don't know enough about them.
So okay, if we go to, I'm on the Steam page right now for Battlefield 6. If we go to the like the infographic of what is included of the standard edition versus the Phantom edition. The Phantom edition is the $100 version of the game. So with the standard edition, you get the full game download, obviously, Tombstone Pack pre-purchase offer, which is only if you pre-order naturally. With the Phantom edition, you get both of those things plus the Battlefield Pro token, which is the Battle Pass plus 25 tier skips. You get the Phantom Squad, which is 4 soldier skins, a shrouded weapon package, a drop shadow weapon package, glimmer melee weapon, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Chimera vehicle skin, Death's Head weapon sticker, a charm, a dog tag, and an XP boost. So there's a good amount of cosmetic stuff in here. Scrolling down a little bit more, there's images to go along with everything that I just listed. And all the images, as far as the cosmetics go, they do look like relatively grounded and quote-unquote realistic for the Battlefield franchise. Like, I would not look at all and say, oh, that's COD. Never.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe the weapon stickers, but that's a neither here nor there thing for me.
Yeah, because that's something only the players really going to see and kill cams are going to see. I think that's something you have a little bit more leniency with. What I'll say is, what I understand isn't the basis of the pack like something that has to do with previous factions from older Battlefield games? Isn't
if
it
that is, I am not as into the lore to know enough about
that's
that.
Fine then. But yeah, I mean, overall, it sounds like a decent smattering of what little customization we know from Battlefields previously, which is melee weapon customization, dog tags, and then like some newer elements like weapon charms and skins, which I don't know if they were in the newer ones, but it's obviously a standard with Call of Duty now.
Yeah, I mean, EA as a company has to find a way to monetize this game past the initial sale of every copy, naturally. Yeah. I think that they met enough backlash with 2042 because there was a couple different, like, quote-unquote pay-to-win stuff that people got up in arms about it to the point where I don't think that they're going to do that again. I mean, granted, time will tell with all this, and we just don't know yet, but based on what I'm seeing here with the pre-order pack, and then also with what they did with 2042, I just don't think the skins and the cosmetics are going to be, like, outrageous. Now, that line, like you were talking about with Joe, it's probably over that line, to be honest with you, like for somebody like him. Okay. But I don't think that it's crazy enough to like really have any effect on my interest of this game. That's for me personally.
It's at the level that somebody who wanted back to the roots, something more down to earth is, but not somebody who necessarily wanted a more pure, like almost like a return to the previous expectation where it's like you just pick the class and whatever you get automatically generated as you play as. And I mean, that's going to come down to preferences and things like that.
Like for example, this if you pre-order the game now, you get access to the Gravedigger Soldier skin for Battlefield 6. Now, I don't know can you apply that skin on every class? Is it only going to be on the assault class? Like, I have no idea.
I'm not sure about that. I would imagine. I remember, wasn't that it was like an image of like 4 soldiers, right? So it stands to reason that it's like slightly it changes based on what gadget you're using or something like that. Maybe
possible, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
possible.
I
But
guess the
again,
fact that they're
only
not really spelling it out is kind of a good sign in itself, because that means that there isn't necessarily a robust customization system behind the scenes that might upset people. Who knows?
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this is really more of a wait and see type of thing. For me
Yeah.
personally, I'm a longtime Battlefield fan and player. I am ultimately concerned with how the game plays. Like, say what you want about the skins, and if I like a game enough, I'm never gonna boycott it because it has Snoop Dogg in it. I'm just not. Um, but if the destruction is up to par, the gameplay is up to par, if I like the gunplay and the movement, and the list goes on, I'm still gonna play the game. And that might be like quote unquote weak to some people, but I, I just want a good Battlefield experience. And the world that we live in, as far as the gaming industry now goes, like this stuff is just going to be a part of it, whether you like it or not. And the only thing that I can do realistically, aside from not buying the game, which I'm going to end up buying the game, is not buy any of the cosmetics and vote with my wallet. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I could possibly say to that.
It is that is a good way to look at it, but I will also say that I'm not necessarily as locked in to the mindset that it's just like, oh, that's just how things are. I think just in particular, like obviously, especially with big franchises like Battlefield, you're almost kind of beholden to the will of the masses. But I do think that in lieu of like just common sense thinking, I think the damage to a lot of these brands has become so massive in the last couple of years that like if there was ever a time for like a company to fuck up and push enough people away through their actions pre-launch, it would be now.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a giant situation of wait and see. Like, I already know the gameplay looks good. I still have to play it to really have my own opinion of it. But everything else around it, we just don't know yet. So we'll know a lot more after this weekend, that's for sure. And after that, then the second weekend, because they'll probably add some more content in. And then after that, it's only 2 months away. Like it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with it. But I mean, that was the pregame network recap of the Battlefield 6 reveal event. I'm at a 7 out of 10. Anthony's at a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And we'll have more thoughts and footage for the game overall next weekend. So definitely stay tuned for that. But as far as that goes, I mean, I got nothing else to talk about, and I am pretty much out of time anyway. Okay. So if you have anything small that you want to throw out there real quick, I am all ears.
I mean, I don't really have anything small, so I guess we can leave it at that and just pick it up next time.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, in that case, this was episode 66 of the Pregame Network podcast. And if you're still sticking around and listening, then thank you, and we appreciate it. And we'll see everyone next week. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.